In the previous lesson, we explored what data a consumer is most comfortable giving to advertisers and how the consumer can control that flow of data to maintain their privacy. For this video, we're shifting perspectives to the responsibilities an advertiser has to a consumer when they're using their data. We'll be covering the importance of data to advertising practices and the responsibilities an advertiser has when using that data. Since the early 2000s, advertisers have made a paradigm shift from contextual advertising, or placing ads on pages or in places with relevant content, to data-based advertising, or placing ads that are relevant to a consumer, regardless of the content they're looking at. An example of contextual advertising would be an ad for running shoes on a website about running. Whereas with data-based advertising, an ad for running shoes could appear on a news site, for instance, but the ad is put in front of a consumer who has previously shown an interest in running. In data-based advertising, the assumption is that the context in which the ad is shown is not as important, as long as the ad is shown to an interested audience. The only way data-based advertising works is with data. Without information about a consumer's interests, habits, or needs, an advertiser would be stuck only using the contextual advertising. Data-based advertising works well, so advertisers are keen to have the data to target the right ads to the right people. When advertisers receive and manage data, they have a responsibility to provide three big things to a consumer: value, transparency, and control. First, it's critical that a consumer is able to see the value in the use of their personal data. Inexpensive or free content, personalized experiences, and innovative marketplace offerings are all ways that a consumer could find value in advertising. Second, an advertiser needs to be transparent about where data comes from and how it's being used. If you've seen a personalized ad recently, you might have noticed information on ads that tell you more about why you're seeing a particular ad. An example is this ad choice flag, for instance, that lets you know an ad was tailored to you. The ad choice program comes from a consortium of advertisers called the Digital Advertising Alliance, or DAA, which wanted to make data-based advertising more transparent. When users click on the icon, they can learn more about how and why they're being served that specific ad. This is the DAA's earnest attempt to make advertising more transparent. Finally, an advertiser has a responsibility to highlight consumers' control over their data. Consumers might be fine with their personal data being used in one situation, but as we've covered in an earlier lesson, they worry about losing control over who else might have access to that data. Consumers own their personal data, and reminding them of that control might actually be a win-win. Research shows that when consumers are reminded about the controls they have over their personal data, they're actually more likely to engage with an ad. So, to summarize, advertisers are expected to provide value, transparency, and control to consumers when working with the data users provide them. In our next video, we're going to take a bird's-eye look at the entire advertising ecosystem and the different parties that touch or influence the use of data. I'll see you there.